My name is Sean Robinson, and this is my YouTube channel.
Hi, Sean. My name's Carson Grubaugh. What's your YouTube channel called?
Living the line.
Welcome to Living the Line, everyone. You caught me off guard with that. Uh,
We haven't recorded in a while, so I'm feeling a little sprightly.
yeah, I think I don't know if people picked up on it, but me and Sean kind of had a wild Christmas break. Both of us had a lot of illness and family catastrophes and stuff. So we've had a backlog of videos that's kept the channel running, but we apologize for kind of checking out for a bit. But we're back, and like a month ago we recorded this video for the contest for 2,000 subs, and we've already now like almost added another 250 viewers in a month, so that's
It's
awesome.
unbelievable, and I really hope that you guys are enjoying the channel. And I mean, it really just means the world to me. Carson, you are the one who suggested that we make this channel, and you've been the driving force behind it. And like, I don't know if you guys know, but like, Carson puts in all of the time editing the videos and making our the caps and all those different types of things. And basically all I do is record, which is the very much the easy job. And Carson is the engine that makes all of this stuff work. And sometimes, like, I feel like I got like persuaded to do it by you, but it's so fun to do that it kept it going. And now it's like not just fun to do, but like we get just amazing comments from people. We get amazing feedback on stuff, and people really value the stuff that we, and also particularly you, Carson, do in terms of spotlighting books. The one man reviews that go out during the week that spotlight things that don't get talked about a lot. And it's really meaningful to me that we have this relationship together, both the two of us and the 2,300 of you out there.
Yeah, it's thankfully, I mean, one of the things that's been facing us is Tori has been struggling since we got COVID in September. So she's been at home, but that's been helpful to me because now she's helping with the editing. And if you've noticed, there's lots more little things popping up in the video. That means Tori did that one. And if there's no extra little links, then it means I'm doing it in between classes or something. But yeah, this was just a wild hair up my ass about like just complaining about print quality at first, and it's growing into this thing where I feel like it's just all about creators, and we've
Yeah.
met so many people and continue to just be exposed to stuff I never would have known about if it wasn't for the channel. That yeah, it's kind of grown into something I didn't know what it was, and it seems to be going bigger and bigger. And I really, me and Tori were actually talking about this last night. I said, I don't know how me and Sean pull it off, but we kind of just like do whatever you want, dude, and it works out. And she said, yeah, Sean's crazy. I mean, he gave me like his company name and then kind of said, yeah, just whatever you want to throw up on YouTube. So we were just talking about that last night, and it seems to work, and I'm really enjoying it. So
Yeah.
2023, we're gonna keep blasting.
Yeah, and can't emphasize enough the fact that of the two books that we've put out so far as a publisher, and the four that are coming down the pipeline in the next 3 months, which is just insane. Four books,
Yeah.
absolutely four books. Would you like to know what the print bills are? Uh,
No.
uh, when I think about of those four books, one of them was made by you with a little bit for me and our friend Luciano, and
Yeah.
one of them and two of them came from direct recommendations for people on our channel. This is a really unusual kind of thing that we have going, and really is meaningful to me that we get to have this kind of relationship. I know, whatever, people talk about this all the time. Maybe I'm, I don't want to oversell it or something, but like I have never had this experience before of a place where on the internet where things are about the things that you like and making the things that you like better and making yourself and the things that you do better, which is freaking great. I mean,
With
that's
like hardly any like meh, meh, meh. I mean, we got like a week of that on the AI stuff, which was weird because it's like AI's was the hot topic for like the second week of December, and so we got a bunch of like BS posts and then back to normal. So yeah, it's really heartening. And that's one of the biggest lessons I took away from working with Luciano is instead of thinking about collectives or individuals or even between two individuals, that the focus is on the relationship.
Hmm.
And I think that just happened without us intending it. This has been, yeah, a relationship with the audience that's continuing to grow, and it's cool. Yeah, like
So
it's really good to get back to it. So
thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's our 6 minute preamble before you can find out who won our thing. Yeah, so we did this contest, and the goal was that we were going to give away a copy of every single Living the Line publication that I still have copies of. Um, so a few little Kickstarter bonus books that aren't included because I don't have any anymore. Not even mine. I'm sorry. Off they
yeah,
went. But
I might have a couple hang arounds too. We can coordinate. I might ship
yeah.
out a couple extras here.
So the plan was that we were going to give away one copy of every Living the Line book to somebody who is subscribed to the YouTube channel and the mailing list. We also wanted to Carson, sort of as a last minute thing, we had a little discussion about a different art contest, and I was kind of privately thinking, like, I don't know if a lot of people are going to do this contest, Carson. Like, you got a lot of parameters here, and man, was I wrong. We had an unbelievable response to the contest, and it just didn't seem fair to me that we were going to give away just one set of books. So
Yeah.
I have committed to doing two sets of books. We're going to do two different draws right now, live.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a draw for every single person who entered a page into the contest gets one pull from
Per
their
page.
per
Per
page.
page. Yeah.
So
So we've
that
got
we actually got 40 pages of this
33.
contest.
33 entries.
33, an amazing thing. And then everybody who is subscribed to the mailing list and also part of our YouTube channel, that is another 677 people. Sorry, I don't want to give away any trade secrets. You can just pretend I didn't tell you what it was there. And I have to tell you, if you are one of the 4 people who unsubscribed the last time I sent out a MailChimp blast, whatever it was that I sent out just broke the camel's back. You're like, I don't want this guy to sully my inbox anymore. Well, I'm sorry. You missed out.
Sean's just so salty that MailChimp lets you know when people unsubscribe. It is pretty rude. Like, if I unfollow someone on Instagram, there's kind of like a social etiquette there that Instagram protects my, like, I've lost interest in you. It's like, let me break up with people I'm not dating without a notification, please.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if you get like a notification because you went to go buy some fries at the fast food place and the person like flicked you off as you left because you didn't tip them or something, right? I mean, I don't I don't want to know that you unsubscribed. I'm sorry.
So let's go ahead and do the 677 first, because I really do want to take some time to celebrate the art that came in.
Yeah.
So we'll do this and get ourselves a winner.
Yeah. So before we do this is the people who subscribe to our mailing list and also subscribe to YouTube. I don't send out that many emails. Probably 3 a month. We would love it if you would subscribe. If you were cursing yourself right now and wishing that you were one of these 677 people, highly recommend that you go over to livingthelinebooks.com and stick your name on that email list. Like I said, it's like max. I don't know if I've ever sent out more than 3 a month. And
that way you're not missing out on the hot new LTL books, because every LTL book that's come out so far has had a pretty good impact. Gotten on, Plaza was on some year-end best of the year. Strange Death got the Eisner nomination. I mean, it's just, it's all good stuff. So, which you should be goddamn proud of, sir, as a publisher.
Well, thanks, Ben. I appreciate that.
Number 27.
Number 27. Well, gosh, you're making this really easy for me. Ben D. Ben D, I'm going to be writing to you and letting you know that you have won. This person didn't give me my permission to send to publicly say his name, so let's not do that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Are there more than one Ben D, or will Ben D know who he is?
I'm going to email Ben D and let him know that he is a winner.
Okay, Ben D, if you're seeing this, if your name is a Ben D and you're on the list, check your emails, because Sean's going to coordinate with you to get you some awesome books. So thanks, Ben, for being on the mailing list. Thanks for watching the channel. We really, really appreciate it. And congratulations, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah,
you're
that's really something else.
Books. Okay, and then I really, really wanted to share what we got from this contest. So for people to understand what the contest was, when we started playing with the AI back before it was could be a little bit more explicit with its imagery, it was more abstract in its page design. I designed something like 800 pages of comics, just, you know, J.H. William comic page. And I just got all these random pages that I was having fun like inking and turning them into stuff. So this is the kind of thing, and you'll see both of these have been
Yeah.
turned into stuff for the
And
contest. This
and
is
there,
what
and
people were taking and then
well,
working over top of.
yeah, so we should say this is a certain amount of nonsense in this process, and that's how you personally were using it. You and I collaborated on a short three page story for the Told to Tell anthology,
Mhm.
using this as our starting point, which was essentially like, what if you use the composition of the AI as a starting place and sort of feel out what's happening there. Like, for instance, like that second, oh God, that is a great page. I mean, it just kills me. Absolutely kills me. The first panel right there. I mean, what is that evocative of? Is it the shape of somebody's nose? Is it the coastline of Florida?
Is
Um,
this like a rocks with like a tower here, you know, like
right.
all blacked out, and this is ocean back here, but it's, you know, and like this little line. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you could just add to it, you know, and
It's
take away, and
suggestive.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
unfortunately, Midjourney has become less suggestive and more
right.
explicit. So I kind of like the older, more suggestive stuff better.
Right. And so Carson, your idea was essentially like, what if we prompted people to do the same thing? Like, here's
Hmm.
a folder of these nonsense image compositions. The compositions are exquisite. The content is largely up to your own interpretation. uh so like, oh man, that's like right out of Cages or something.
Yeah, this was
Um,
definitely using Dave McKean as a prompt for sure.
Interesting.
So
Right. And
just going through them, we got 7 pieces. And by the way, everyone who did it wrote emails to me when they sent these in, and everyone said, "Oh my God, this was so much fun." And also the same experience I had, that working with this taught me so much because it forces you to work outside of your own comfort zone. I actually leapt forward as an artist really quickly and really significantly just from doing a couple of these. And that was kind of the same report that everyone else had. So
mm,
I'm going to leave that folder up, and I encourage people to go in there. And most of the people who did these said, I'm going to keep doing stuff with
yeah.
this. Like, I'm going to keep using it. A lot of people like Aaron Reese, I don't know the order, but I know had
Oh
sorted
man.
out ahead of time. These are 7 pages from Aaron, that he has planned a 24-page story around and is still working on.
Will
I
you
don't,
zoom in on some of that line work so we can kind of
yeah,
cheat it a little bit? I'd like to see. Man, that feathering, Aaron, you're a monster.
yeah.
What? It's so this is a physical for him. This has got to be right.
I believe he inks digitally
Oh, okay.
from what
I
I've
love
seen.
the feathering on the cheeks there. Um,
From
and
what I
same
can
with
tell
the
on his
under eye there.
Instagram, he inks digitally.
He's
Um,
got a good use of value too. And like pushing that shoulder into the mid tone there. And that's an interesting one there too.
that had to be Alphonse Muka was in the prompt.
Right.
There's a couple where the artists that I prompted with are pretty obvious, and some
Holy
less.
moly.
But he's definitely has a narrative. He's stitched together 24 pages that he's found some sequence within, and I don't know where that's going because it's not finished yet. And that was actually something I wanted to do. That's why I was generating that many, is I wanted to see if I could, whether it be whole pages or just panels, reconstruct a story out of
Well,
the noise. So as I get time, I do want to go back to that idea that Aaron was playing with.
well,
um,
what do you think, man? Should we do an anthology and just go ahead and announce it right now and just say anybody who submitted to this contest that wants to submit to this
if you're
anthology?
willing to do that, that was my hope. I thought that would be awesome. And
Okay,
you know, if other
let's.
people want to contribute to that
Right.
and go into that folder, you know, I again, it's Sean's publishing company, but I think an anthology would be amazing, and I
Let's
would
do it.
love to chase down some of our favorite friends and artists that
Yeah.
we've met. So if you've done an interview with us, or you know that we like your art, we're gonna come knocking, and hope that you'll contribute, because I really, really do believe that the quality of what these artists turned in is worth it, for sure. And
Yeah,
especially if we can get a finished story,
right.
from Aaron and
Or if you'd want to collaborate, with, yeah, that's it's very interesting. What do you think it is about this process that's so freeing? I mean, to me, I kind of get a sort of dreaming kind of quality to it when I was doing the few drawings that I did. One of which I don't think we even used. With this process, it was almost like I'm like sort of staring into the half light, that sort of noisy moment where you're not really quite be able to interpret an image, and you're sort of pulling something out of it.
yeah, I mean, the way I was thinking about it, and this is just a normal way I work because I don't pre-visualize in my head, so I just start making lines and let the lines talk to me anyways.
Right.
And that comes out of like the history of automatic drawing and things like that. I always have my students do that. I think when you have, it's the technical term for it's pareidolia, and
Mhm.
I think what's actually so exciting about it is this is the point where humans and AI are actually meeting currently, I believe, is that the diffusion model process, and this is where we started getting in arguments with people, they just won't believe us when we explain how the
Right.
AI works, is the diffusion model process takes a nonsense noise image and hallucinates an image into it
Right.
based on the prompt, based on its training regimen. It's that they don't photo bash anymore. That's what people
Yeah.
keep getting wrong. There's no copyright violations. It's no different than me looking at trees and seeing a face in the trees. And
Right.
for a human being, that neurological principle is called pareidolia. And I really do believe pareidolia is behind a lot, if not all, art production, because it's the
Right.
same kind of thing. Like you stare at the popcorn in the ceiling and you see an image, or you start making lines on a paper and it slowly resolves. And you said that too. Like when you
Yeah.
first watched Midjourney work, you were like, hey, this feels like what's going on in my head.
Right.
And that's why I think this works so well, is when Midjourney wasn't so good, it got far enough that a human can really easily map their own. Like if I did this picture, or if I had taken this page, it would be a different thing, but it's suggestive enough that anyone who's practiced as an artist would be able to hallucinate something into it,
Well,
have that pareidolia.
clearly the anthology has to be called Pareidolia.
Oh yeah, there you go, that's perfect.
Okay, so we're announcing today a new anthology called Pareidolia. You were witnessing the creation of it. And I wanted to tell you, Carson, we have been talking about this the entire time that you and I have been doing videos together. We have gone back and forth with how does it come out of your head? What does it actually look like in your head when you're
Mm-hmm.
imagining it? And we've asked so many people, including people like the tremendous Ken Matroni. I mean, a tremendous animator, who
And
clearly
J.H. Williams.
J.H. Williams, people who know how to sort of pull these things, and it is not until our you and I had our last talks about the AI stuff that I finally resolved it for me personally. That when I am cartooning something, that is, you are exactly this thing that I've been searching for this entire time. Part of the sketching process is jump starting your pareidolia. And I
Yeah.
was doing this. I haven't mentioned this to you guys. I was sick with COVID. Second week of December. I was sick for 3 weeks the past month. And when I was sick with COVID in bed and didn't want anybody else in my family to get COVID, I sat in bed and I penciled 40 pages of my graphic novel.
And I've seen some of the inking, and whoo, like it's good to be hallucinating a little bit.
Well, yeah. Well, so I penciled. I say 40. I think it was actually 45.
Wow.
It's 40 or 45 pages I did in a 5-day period, which is, I mean, that's kind of nuts, right?
Yeah,
Um,
especially to do it while you have COVID. I don't know what you're
well,
thinking, but
propped up in the bed. Anyway, so when I was doing this, I was thinking about our discussion about this process, and something happened in my brain where I just got a little lighter in those first motions, and
mhm.
making it lighter, almost, it was like I sort of like opened up a door into the intellectualization that we've done through this process of talking about pareidolia and talking about
Yeah.
hallucination and talking about all these different things. And just by making those initial marks lighter, it's like I was inviting in the ghost,
Hmm.
in a more efficient kind of way.
Yeah, you
um,
gave yourself some noise to interpret.
exactly right.
I think is the big thing. And then I do believe there are people like J.H. Williams who are hyper visualizers, and it's
Yes.
almost like they're probably just tracing an image out of their head.
Right.
And I've been intending to do it. I got a couple people who I need to email, but in the same way we had those ophthalmologists on, I would really like to talk to a hardcore neurobiologist who studies hyperphantasia and aphantasia, like
Hmm.
hypervisualization, or people who, like me, who have a hard time with internal
Right.
visualization. So I can't say when that's going to happen, probably not for a while, but I'm going to work my hardest to make that happen, because I think both of us are the type of people who really, really want to get into
Oh yeah.
like the neurobiology of it, and
Well,
how interesting that will be to the channel. I hope people pick it. But
especially as a cartoonist, like I wanted to know why it works sometimes and why it doesn't work other times. That's been the main thing for me. So I am probably middle of the road. If you took the aphantasia, and you took the hyperphantasia, I'm probably just dead set in the middle where I have learned kinetic visualization. So like when I do a motion, I can see in my body map the motion that I'm doing.
yeah,
And so when I'm cartooning, like a lot of it is like taking on the attitude of the person.
yeah.
And it's like I have these sort of kinetic shortcuts that are giving me like physical feedback,
Hmm.
that sort of have replaced the visualization. And it's just amazing that just by talking about it, I was like, oh right, the lighter is just more noise. That's what it's provided. Anyway, I didn't mean to detour us
No, no,
with this, but
no. It's a good chat, and the same thing for me with the motion. It's really like I'm like it's like I'm tracing something in my head, but I can only ever see the part of the line that my eye is pointed at the exact moment, which is
right.
strange. So, anyways, those were Aaron's, I believe, 7 pages that I have from him.
Really great
Next
work, man.
up is Alexander uh
Oh,
Latanzi.
Latanzi? Yeah.
Latanzi.
Nice. I didn't know that Alex was doing stuff too. Alex just completed his first graphic novel. I was helping him out a little bit with a discussion. He is really a phenomenal cartoonist and a phenomenal colorist. He's got some really great stuff. Oh, this is very interesting to see.
Yeah,
Uh,
and you can see that he's gone in and done dialogue as well. So in those little word balloons where it's just generating nonsense, people are going in and really, really like drawing
oh
meaning out of it.
man.
And this is something that's fascinated me for a long, long time, is people making meaning out of noise. So this is so gratifying.
That's a very interesting one. Will you? So this has got to be some Mucha. The next page has got to be also a Mucha prompt,
That's a
right?
Muka, yeah, for sure. This one, I don't know who that is. The design of it is more poster design. I
Hmm.
couldn't tell you what the prompts were for all of these.
Well, you
I
did
was
the
basically
800.
just looking at my
Yeah.
bookshelf, and like every artist on my bookshelf, I made pages for that, you know.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's interesting. Like occasionally, you would send me something, and I would be able to immediately identify it. Um, but because a lot of these people probably only have a few images in the training model or whatever, then there are more. They tend to be more derivative. But basically, whoever the more images the person has easily available, like Muka, you tend to get a wider variety. So.
yeah, the more
um,
the AI like understands the ins and outs of the style, and it can replicate it. So
right.
those are the
Although,
6 by Alec,
so
and
this is
well,
Graham Hill, right?
this is Graham Hill. We
So
got
Graham, I can identify your inking.
it's
Just by
fantastic.
yeah.
It's so
Oh
good, and it works so
man.
well with the AI. So Graham sent us 8 pieces. Graham just like went haywire on this and had the best. I mean, you can tell he had the best time.
Yeah,
Uh,
Graham is a comic shop owner and also just a fantastic oil painter. He did an amazing series, I think, many years ago of what was the name of the Planet of the Apes, like a Planet of the Apes like oil painting series. It's like these classically, uh, you know, oriented oil paintings. Whoa, oh man, that's intense.
yeah, these ones. So these are actually rejects from what we were just talking about, tracking the AI. Me and Sean are also doing what's going to be an exclusive experiment webcomic through Patreon that we'll announce separately soon. That's a spin-off of the Hodtech story and abolition of man called Pranay Day. And so
Right.
this was actually a reject panel from that I threw in there. And the way that Graham just goes in, same like on these ones,
Yeah.
and with that razor blade, and like
Yeah.
it's so good. It's kind of got, yeah, that Ashley Wood, Dave McKean, like Bill
Hmm.
Sienkiewicz. These things started coming in, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad we did this.
Yeah.
You know, this is another Prane Day.
Right. I
You'll
recognize the
see something,
composition.
yeah, you'll see something similar to this exact page. Here's another one. This is from David Deloso, who's
Yeah.
the basic, is that how to say
Yeah.
it, on Instagram, and his is a complete 5-page story here.
Oh
oh
man,
we
it's just so grotesque.
oh I don't his okay, his first one's going to show up at the end, but the that's the last page.
That's amazing.
And that was, sorry, I got him out of order.
Yeah.
That's the first one. But this is stunning,
Oh,
stunning stuff.
absolutely.
And again, making sense of these total messes. And it was funny because this one, I
It's
don't think he
unbelievable.
had one in the folder for. So he reached out to me and asked for some tips on prompts and stuff. And his prompt said this, like something about this machine dissecting a nude woman. And I was like, Midjourney's going to reject both dissecting, the word dissecting, and the word nude. So he was doing, and this is where I think the AI really can be powerful. People are complaining about it a lot, but it's like, yeah, if you just type it in and you get this photorealistic kind of game engine looking stuff, yeah,
Right.
we're going to get bored of it really quick. But like here, David made some nonsense and then he mirrored it in Photoshop and
Right.
then did the pareidolia process, and that kind of allowed him to get to this point. So it's not, AI's been involved, but this is no longer AI art. And that was really, I was calling this the whole time Revenge of the Ink Slingers. That's like
Right.
my name for the contest. And that's really what it was. Like, if we feel like this AI is taking agency back from us, to me, it's better to lean into it and learn how to use it to enhance ourselves,
Right.
as well. And that's, everyone who did it reported how much they grew just from the few pages that they did.
Right. And his is a really intriguing too, because I mean, I think that it's a strong statement that wouldn't exist without the fact of the nonsense interpretation. You see these grotesque organic forms that Midjourney just loves, just wallows in.
Yeah.
And he, is obviously like seeing these and trying to interpret them. And here we have this essentially like a machine attempting to understand an organic process or an organic person and taking them apart. I mean, rendering them useless.
Yeah, and so the story itself actually
Yes,
gains conceptual weight because
girth.
of the involvement AI. It would be a great story already, but when you know the AI was involved, it gets more philosophically compelling.
Yeah.
And I just, yeah, I like, imagine like I was logging into my email, while we were having the awful Christmas break that we both had, and this is like what we were finding, and it was amazing. Look at that bad boy
Oh
from
man.
Garish. I did a review of Garish's book Disco Levante that came out
Oh
from,
yeah.
Strangers Fanzine. He's working on another book with them that I've been following on Instagram. And he was another person who said, like, oh my God, I wish I could have done way more of these. When I have more time, I'm going to get back to it. So he's going to be dipping into that folder that's there, and just,
It's just
it's,
gorgeous.
and
Absolutely
his
gorgeous.
his coloring, yeah, is
Yeah.
so good. So that's the one I got from Garish. These are two of them from Eric D'Amico.
Or Demico, maybe?
D'Amico,
D'Amico?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I really love this one here with this
Wow.
like weird robotic eye and these graphics up here, because I know there's no way Midjourney's putting these kind of graphics in there.
Yeah.
And then this like whole like star
Spattered
silhouette
star.
body
Yeah.
here. Yeah, love it. The like roses and the crash. Love it.
Oh,
And
man.
then this is Matt Battaglia,
Wow.
who is currently, or at least last night, #1 dystopian graphic novel on Amazon for his forthcoming Living the Line book, House on Fire. So everyone, if you haven't pre-ordered that, go to your shop, go to Amazon, pre-order that, and keep Matt at the top of the list. That's awesome. But this is this is the Rage Against the Dying of the Light. So it's an interpretation of a poem.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who that poem's by. He's got it down here. Dylan Thomas.
Dylan Thomas, right? I love the pile up of texture on the first panel there. Would you zoom in on that one? Matt's
Yeah,
got
I mean, this
the
is Matt
chaotic. Yeah,
Paul
this,
Pope chaos.
this is the stuff that really drew me to House on Fire as a project. Is the sort of like pile up of mark making
And the dry brush and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All what he's got in here. Yeah. Gorgeous stuff. All that. That's the only noise you can make for that. And like, I envy those lines. They're so spontaneous. And then these are Nema. So Nema is obviously doing full color with like these cool like Ben-Day dot effects and all these kind of weathering effects that I want to figure out how to do.
Man.
And again,
color wise, that's just gorgeous. It's really cool.
And so these two here are from those images that I showed at the beginning.
The schizophrenic delirium lays bare the material process of the unconscious.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what's happening. And a lot of people did tell me like, this is either really healthy for or really bad for like my paranoid personality, right. Which, I think a lot of us, and here's Nema's
oh man,
original ink. So again, really nice dry brush. It's cool to see so much texture and dry brush becoming a thing again.
How do you spell Nema's last name?
Oh Lord, I'd have to pull it up. I don't have it written down.
Okay, we'll have a link in the bottom.
Oh, here we go. Barami. That's why I wasn't going to try and pronounce it. Nema Barami. And again, we'll put an Instagram link because I think it's Nimchichi on Instagram.
Okay.
Really good stuff on there. And this is that Dave McKean looking one that we were showing at the beginning.
Yeah.
And you can see like that one really, you identified it as like, hey, that's a Dave McKean piece.
Right.
And then here it's, totally Nema's, which is
exactly
awesome.
Yeah, and that's the thing about all this stuff is that like the terror that I had at the beginning of these this process, a lot of it for me was like realizing that I don't have to use this thing. Nobody's going to chain me to the desk and obligate me to do it. And I obviously still kind of despair about the future. But this gives me a lot more hope that there are positives to be had that can be found in the process of making things, with a sort of this not being part of the end journey, but instead just a portion of the process,
And even like I'm sure all of these artists are going to still go and do things without AI involved at all.
Yes, of course.
I have over the break, like I said, made leaps and bounds as an artist, like pushed myself further as an artist than I have in the last 10 to 15 years. All of a sudden I'm a totally different artist. And it's just because I used the AI and kind of learned some stuff from looking at it, and then did this kind of stuff and collaborated with it and learned from it. And I could never use it again, but I'm a significantly better artist for working with it. And someone on the channel was actually talking about they're worried about stagnation coming from the AI. And it's like, well, that's fair if everyone's pumping out those video game looking images.
Right.
But my argument back was like, actually, I was stagnant as an artist until this came into my life. And I started seeing how effective the nonsense, like how impactful the nonsense images that we were getting for Abolition of Man and stuff were, really freed me up. Like, oh, you could draw hands totally screwed up and people still know it's a hand. And the way it highlighted composition for me and things like that really changed me as an artist for the better.
So we got 33 of these here. So let us go ahead and do our drawing.
Okay, we got 1 through 33. Number 4, so that's going to go to Aaron Reese because he had the first 7. I just have them in order of alphabetical and how many people have. So Aaron, you're the dude.
Congratulations, Aaron. I believe we have some type of contact for him, so we will reach out to Aaron and
Oh
let
yeah,
him
for sure.
know as well. And thank you, everybody who participated. And if you are interested in also participating in an anthology of these of this type, or if you submitted to this contest and you'd also like to be considered for the anthology, we will have some contact info there. And I think we should probably call it Pareidolia, although
Oh
maybe we
yeah,
could.
100%.
Okay. Um,
And
and
I'll reach out to all of the artists because they've emailed me all. That's how I got the images. So I'll reach out to each one of them
okay.
and check and follow up if they're like if there's more pages to the story and
And yeah, and I think something that engages in, uh, the thematic resonances that you might find in the process. I mean, I think it's a really fruitful kind of territory, and obviously everybody is very thoughtful, and these are part of the things that we're thinking about right now.
yeah, and when you're reading the dialogue in each one of these, or you're looking at the stories they're constructing, like
Right.
pretty much every one of them is engaging with that to some extent. It seems like, that's part of the story is they understand, like, if I'm going to be using this, like I need to acknowledge it somehow. And
Right.
I think that, yeah. So I don't know how long it will take us to round all that up and put it all together. And
Yeah, or what it'll look like, but we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. And congratulations to both winners.
Ben
And
D and
yeah,
Aaron Reese.
well, I had no idea we were going to go on this long, but obviously I miss talking to you. And very soon, coming to a comic shop near you is The Exile by Eric Creek, a quite unbelievable book. That I just got news from the printer that they shipped yesterday. So I will be fulfilling a bunch of Kickstarters next week and sending out all of the early pre-orders. As soon as I get those boxes out, we'll have some other news hopefully. But yeah, and Centralia by Emil Van de Peet, and then Up Right Now, House on Fire by Matt Battaglia. And
Matt Battaglia, keep that at number one. Number one dystopian graphic novel. He kicked Jeff Lemire's ass. He threw out I love that he did that. He threw down the gauntlet and the people showed up and bumped him from 55 to number one by the end of the day. It was great. So appreciate it. Yeah, guys, again, thanks for all the support. Thanks for taking like this goofy little idea that we had and you're all helping blow it up. And it's not just the YouTube channel. I mean, the support you give to the channel is leading to the publishing stuff and helps that. And it's really, I think that's going to keep growing, and this can be a creator centric movement in the comics. I think that's my goal for the next couple of years is more creator centric stuff. So
awesome. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.
Make sure to like, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell.